Excuse me, bit of a cold. Hello. Just doing a strip down of the brake calipers. It's a twin calipers on the front. We're going to do a rebuild on them. They're not functioning right good, so while I'm on with a few other jobs, I'm doing these at the same time. Hardest part's been getting the pots out, the piston pots. Oh, excuse me. We've got one out, but that was pretty easy with that one. They're not bad inside, but they're still a bit of a swine. I've tried air. Thing is, with air, you have to make a very good seal. I couldn't find anything to create that seal. So anyway, the conclusion we've got, let's see what, so just show you the seals, the piston seals. One of them were really bad. There's two seals in each piston, but one of them, it's hard to see on camera, but it was catching. I mean, you can see even on there how rough they look. Look at that. So they're catching on piston, they're not allowing it to move freely, or as free as it should be, so that's why they're getting a rebuild. So all this has got to come off, but at the minute we're getting pistons out, or trying. Anyway, I've tinkered about and I kind of come up with this. Just nip over to Vice, and what I've done, piston, I've just put a, I think that's a 10mm drill bit in there and wedged a, I think that's a 10mm Allen, and if you see when you turn it, you see piston turning. I'm just doing this one hand now, but when I put the camera down, the plan is, it's come out a little bit because it will flush like the other side, so the plan is to turn and pull slightly at the same time, and eventually it will come out. So if you're having a problem with stuck pistons, this is the thing to try. You just, because this is an X corners, when you twist it, it locks onto whatever's inside, look. So when it locks on, it acts as a, it fills the gap up and it twists, see it? I'm trying to pull it one-handed as well, but I can't. So that's where I'm doing it now, and it seems to be working. These aren't seized, so maybe with a seized one it'd take a bit more effort, but I'll just get it halfway out and then we'll record again. Right, see, doing the job, and good thing about it is you don't scratch the outside. You don't want to get mold, you don't want to get any grips on here. There's some slight wear on here, but we will obviously clean them up. I'm trying to get away with buying pistons as well, which I think we might get away with that. So anyway, this is working. You might have to pack a bit more. You need to pack it in something, so when you turn it grips that. See, this doesn't always grip it, might need another thing in there, but when it does grip it, you'll see, as I've shown it, bloody thing, there you go. And like I say, backward pull as you twist, and they do eventually come out. So there you go. Right, there you go. Them two out. There they are. To be fair, after a clean up, they'll come up quite good then. There's just a bit of crap on, a bit of rubbish on, but they'll come up quite nice. So, just a couple of things to bear in mind. I put that in the vise, clamped it in. You've got to be careful clamping it because it's a cast, I think, and it'll it'll crack and break, so you have to be gentle on that score. Best to get some grips around it in the clamp to hold it. You can get tools which I looked online for, which remove your pistons. There's like well, there's bits of all sorts of stuff, but I read some reviews on them and they didn't seem to be the best, and they were about 16 quid. Me being a tight Yorkshire man, I opted for this idea, so I'll just show you that. I've just got one more to get out, so I'll just, you know what I mean, you're just making up the gap basically. So there's your piston you want to get out. Excuse me. So you're wedging stuff in basically to lock the gap, and like I say, because that's an X, it's got square edges, when you turn it it'll grab, and then you're sort of twisting it. It's a bit hard at first. You can get it out a bit if you want, and then if you take it out a bit and put some lube on it, if it's a bit of a really stubborn one, take it out a bit, put some lube on it, maybe clean it up, then get it in a little clamp and push it back in. Little C clamp, so you can see what I mean. That tightens up into there and it'll push it back into the thing, and then you can use this method again and it should be a bit easier that time, and you can take it out a bit further, clean it up, lube it up, push it back in with your C clamp, and then keep doing it that way. If it's a real stubborn one, I didn't need to do that. So these are a twin, 2 calipers for the front, and each one's got 2 pistons, but they're not as big as some pistons on some bikes. Some bikes have 1 piston and a big piston in the middle, but these are 2 small ones, or smallish ones, but they're certainly good brakes, or they will be when they've been serviced and redone up and rebled and all that business. So anyway, I hope that helps somebody, because you can come stuck with these things. Like I say, I've got an air gun, but you need, if you're blowing into where the hose goes, that's got to be completely sealed, and you don't want any back pressure coming up through the air, because you lose the pressure and it won't push it out. So you've got to have a good seal there. I didn't have anything what created a good enough seal for them to push the pistons out, and of course you need both pistons in. If you've got one piston out, then the air will come out of the vacant slot. So anyway, found out this for me has worked a treat. Something similar I think you can use, probably, you know, a ratchet, socket ratchet with an extension on. But trouble is with them, they're round. Thing I found with this, because it's square edges, when you turn it, it grips, and I think that's the thing with it. Anyway, hope that's helped. I was mucking about with stuff. Sometimes I video stuff and sometimes I don't. Your support would be great if you subscribe for us, and hopefully see you again.
Queen Elizabeth.
Right, just quickly, this isn't an old video, that was old news. RIP Queen Elizabeth, so just on the last one, this one was a stubborn one, like I mentioned before, you do get them. So on this one I did have to sort of turn it, twist it, pull it out a bit, push it back in with a C clamp, bring it out a bit more, and bit by bit, and it eventually come out. But you can see the seal, look how poor the seals are inside. So if you get poor seals, you're not going to get good functioning. Anyway, hopefully it should all sort out. So that's all the pistons out. There you go. See you later.